Welcome to Business Success Tips, where you learn to make more money in less time and have a lot more fun. I'm your host, Paul Sanneman. I'm founder of Contractor Staffing Source, help contractors build great teams. My guest today is Alex from Steelix Solutions, right?
Correct.
So,
yep.
Alex, what does Steelix Solutions do, and how does it differ from other bookkeeping services?
Ooh, good question. So Steelix Solutions is a bookkeeping firm, and we specialize. The key differentiator here is that we specialize in catch-up, cleanup bookkeeping. So I often say to people that no mess is too great for us. We've seen it all. Me personally, I've been doing bookkeeping since 2013, so definitely seen a lot in a variety of industries, actually. But I think construction in particular is quite underserved. So we're here to make that.
How do I know I need to clean up my books? I mean, in the old days, I'd have a box full of receipts. Remember those days, right? And a bunch of, now it's probably a bunch of Excel spreadsheets. But how do I know I'm in need of your services because my books aren't what they should be?
There's a few symptoms I would say that you need to pay attention to. If you find yourself delaying making most decisions in your business, you feel there's the data and then there's the instincts that we all have as business owners, right. I feel. And so if you feel like, first of all, that you don't have the data, it's kind of a blank canvas and you find yourself scrambling at tax time, very, very common. That's one. And then the other, I would say, is there's some confusion, there's procrastination in making decisions, and I call them Mickey Mouse decisions, actually, because people are making decisions because they have to in order to move the needle, but they're decisions that could really negatively impact your business and your overall well-being. So, yeah.
So, for example, let's say they get accrual and cash messed up. They don't know how to do, what another common one is work in progress, but not how that all works. They never figured it out. And so at the end of the year, they say, oh, you've made $100,000. You owe like $30,000 in taxes. And the guy says, I'm broke. What happened?
Yeah. So for our business, as well as a few other clients, and I would say I wouldn't say necessarily this is an overnight thing, but I would recommend immediately looking up the system Profit First, because it will help you change your mindset, the framing around how you view your finances, first of all, which is huge. And also it's a constant reminder of allocating funds to the appropriate buckets. So when you look at your bank account, we call it, bank balance accounting, you really don't want to sit there and say to yourself, oh, that's all mine. It's like, no. Think of the CRA, think of the IRS as just another vendor that you do have to pay. And unlike some vendors, they will implement the necessary penalties and interest where they see fit. So it is an agreement that in the business game, you can't avoid it forever. That day will come, and it won't be a fun day.
So you're not going to name not the specific name of a construction company, but what's one of the biggest messes you've cleaned up? Don't give me names.
Okay, yeah, no problem. So one of the biggest messes that we cleaned up for one of our clients, it was definitely a multi-year catch-up cleanup. I would say it was more of a cleanup than a catch-up. So this client came to us and they had gone to a few bigger firms than us, actually, which was surprising in the sense that you think that when you go to a bigger firm, you are paying a premium, you're paying for higher quality, you're getting the whole you're getting a very robust support system in the back end. But they had like the wrong year-end setting in there. They weren't even getting the appropriate reporting that they weren't clear in which job site was profitable. And so we had to clean up there's a lot of missed deductions as well. So just because Just because you go to a bigger firm sometimes, you really do want to see how, like, the process of how someone works. Like, you really want to do your due diligence. So I think it was a 3 or 4 year cleanup. There was a 1 or 2 years where we did have to help them file, and it resulted
in
in
the volume of the business dollar-wise? How many
dollar-wise? They were close to hitting $1 million annually each year. So pretty big impact. And we saved them a lot of money on the sales tax side. But also think about all the missed opportunities as well. If you can't ignore it forever. So
now, question, once you clean it up, let's say the people procrastinate this stuff, and unfortunately they give it to their accountant who may not know anything about construction. They have 50 clients, and one of them is a construction company or two.
Yeah.
So they don't really get how construction works. All right. So they're not happy. They think they're paying more taxes than they should. They think, their accountant works for the IRS, if you know what I mean. I'm certain people have that opinion.
Yeah.
And so they're frustrated. Once you clean it up, do you keep doing it, or you just give it to their bookkeeper? How does that work?
Yeah. Great question. So ideally the catch-up cleanup is basically, for us, it's a very quick and dirty kind of like introduction to the seasons of your business, because every business has a certain season, the harvest of what of each construction business, right? So basically, we kind of get to know you and kind of get to know your business. And then on a more ongoing basis, we deliver more information to you, more so in real time. The idea is that I don't want business owners to fall behind again.
Right.
So we're trying to, at the end of the day, it's habits. It really is. And so we work with the best tools out there for payroll, for bill and receipt management. And I should mention as well, my husband and business partner, Steven, he has a lot of in the field experience. He worked as a finishing carpenter for about 11 years or so. So he's very good at, if I try not to throw too much lingo and jargon at our clients, but he's very gifted and able to translate in just more layman's terms, like normal language, compared to me, because I think I've been doing this for so long. Sometimes I forget.
So what happens, Alex, if everybody's got QuickBooks? That's a given, right? It's either online or it's, desktop. And then they've got some kind of construction management software. Maybe it's JobShed, whatever else it is. Then they may have another CRM. It could be, pick one, Sales or whatever. And so they've sort of organically created these softwares to solve different problems at different times. None of the software normally talks to each other, because I haven't figured they've got APIs and never going to do that. And so they don't. To me, every business should know whether they made or lost money monthly, preferably weekly, and where they made or lost it, and what jobs they made or lost it on, so they can make better decisions.
Yes.
But unfortunately, most contractors don't have that information.
Correct. Yeah.
So once you clean it up, do you meet with them weekly, monthly? How often are you like the guiding light? Maybe not a CFO exactly, but you're certainly the controller kind of person who helps them make better decisions and say, look, don't buy that truck or buy a new one because you already depreciated it, or let's move that money into next year. You're on a cash basis. Don't have them pay the bill till January. Well, all those kinds of stuff you can do, right? So how often do you meet with people to do that? Say it's a $3 million remodeling business.
Yeah. So actually, it really is up to the client. So the options are, a lot of our clients meet with us monthly, but we do have other people that meet with us on a quarterly basis. Some are on a week. There's a very small handful meet with us weekly, and then we also have a bi-weekly option. And so the support really is very tailored and customized to, there's different phases, because that client I was telling you about, at first they were meeting with us more on a bi-weekly basis, but I think because it made so much more sense once we had caught everything up in a few weeks or whatever, it made more sense. And then they are now meeting with us monthly. So it does come down to the client's needs, and we'll fit.
Well, I would say one advantage to you over the bookkeeping, it is you. A lot of bookkeeping services, everything's done in the Philippines or someplace, right? I mean, it's like, I understand that, but it is, and this is actually you, which makes a big difference, I think. So what are your fees? I mean, how do you charge people? How do you structure your compensation and fees?
Yeah, so it's a bit of a tricky question just because it is quite custom, but I will kind of give you kind of an idea. So we have a lot of variables that build into the price. And one other differentiator of Steelix Solutions compared to others is that we don't just, two things that are different. We don't just give you the one price, and we don't just send you the quote in the mail kind of thing. We'll actually sit with you, and actually the packages that we provide, we usually give them, give a prospect like 3 tiers. So kind of like Starbucks in a way. We give you the 3 options, and so from there we take consideration into what you're looking for, what your goals are, and we build that in to working together potentially up to 12 months. So we do not bill by the hour. The only time we would bill by the hour is if you were getting an audit by a third party, like the CRA, like IRS. That's never pleasant, but it can be easier when someone is working.
Somebody actually knows what they're doing. It helps. And it's way cheaper than an attorney. So what, give me the range between what and what a month. Let's say I've got a $2 million remodeling business and I have 5 employees. Been in business a couple of years. I use QuickBooks and maybe I use JobTread. I have a part-time bookkeeper who just left and she embezzled some money. Just kidding. So it's like, what's a typical, what are the range? Because it's like attorneys. Some are $300 an hour, some are $900 an hour. I mean, it really depends on the attorney, right? So I'd like the audience to have some idea of what's your wheelhouse and what you approximately charge so they compare to what they're paying now.
Yeah, well, okay, I'll give you the range, and it's quite vast. So our biggest client paid, and so this is all in Canadian pricing. So even American clients,
well, immediately get a 30% discount if you're in the US, right?
Yes, exactly. I just feel like, I don't know. I just want to keep it consistent. Not everyone.
No, that's fine. I mean, I love doing business in Canada because everything's 30 or 40% cheaper. It's great.
I know. So that's a plus. So our biggest client, they are high millions in the year. So they're
how many millions? Like
6 million.
6 million. Okay.
Yeah, so they're paying actually quite high. So they're paying $5,606 around there. But then our lowest clients, very, very small contractors. We also deal with other industries as well, but they're paying like close to like $100 to $120 a month. So it's very.
I'm saying that you could probably. I'm just trying to guess here, given what you told me, for like $1,000 a month American, which is $1,500 a month Canadian, right? Or 14. I forget the conversion.
Yeah, I think so.
It's really bad for you guys. No offense. It's like,
it's crazy. It's crazy.
I get a lot of clients in Canada. They go, "Is that America?" And I go, "Yeah." They just, it's 40% more than I was going to pay. Well, welcome to, sorry about that. So I would say that would be like $1,500 Canadian, which would pretty much cover the average kind of couple $1 million business. Does that make sense?
That does make sense. Yeah. So it's a bit of a tricky question, but I like to give the range because that's literally like we like to really journey with the clients and develop. Business doesn't have to feel.
Well, I mean, to me, we do a lot of, podcasts from people, and you're definitely less expensive. A lot of them have a flat fee of $3,000 a month or $2,500 American. That's not uncommon for bookkeeping services. Yeah. And so you're definitely the good news is you're less expensive than a lot of the guys, which is good. Secondly, you actually do it yourself. A lot of these guys that are charging $2,000 a month, there's 15 people in the Philippines that are doing everything, right? I mean, that's not uncommon. So I would say your big upside is they actually get to deal with you. You're in Canada, which if in the US gives you many 30% discount or 40% discount.
Great.
And you actually do it. So, and you do mostly construction, right? That's what you do, right?
Yeah, it's actually when Stephen and I started Steelix back in January 2022. We actually got married in November 2021. So we're just, merging everything together. But I think we sat down and we kind of we really like to pursue the construction world, just because, again, that was the first set of books that I was exposed to back in 2013, as well as oil and gas. I used to live in Alberta. Yeah, it's a very underserved industry and they need specialized reporting. They like that high touch, personalized help and advice. They need that support. So
most accountants don't have any clue what work in progress is. They just they can't figure it out, right? And if you don't have your work in progress right, and you're trying to do job costing weekly, you're always off, right? Because, and the problem with not having correct accounting is you don't make good decisions. Because a lot of people, I find, the common thing for contractors is, oh my God, it costs, $50,000 more than I thought. They try to get a client with a change order at the end, and the client goes, I'm not going to pay the $50,000, see my attorney. You didn't tell me.
Right.
And that's never fun. So, I think the biggest problem I've seen with clients is them not getting paid because they don't keep their accounting straight. They're usually working for people richer than they are in general. And when it comes to fighting, they lose. And probably their biggest problem is not getting paid. And that's because their accounting isn't straightened out. Or they don't know whether they're losing money. So they can't make decisions with change orders and labor cost and markups and profit until it's too late.
Yes, correct.
They go, oh, I just lost $50,000 on that job. I didn't find out until a month after it was over.
Yeah, the thing is, cash is king. Like, we all know this. And whenever I talk about cash flow, I swear people sit up a bit straighter and they're really listening intently, because the thing is, the bills don't stop. The bills don't stop. You still got to pay your people, whether they're on your payroll or the subcons. Like, you still got to pay them. And the bills, nothing stops.
And what happens, I found a lot of people, you can only grow as fast as you can cover your receivables, right? So if you have $100,000 in receivable, you'll be able to get $100,000 because you have to cover that until you get paid. And if you do government work, it's even worse. They don't pay for like 3 months. And so you've got to understand cash versus accrual, what you're doing, and most contractors just don't get it. So sounds like a great service, Alex. So if people are interested in working with you, how do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So definitely our website is the best to navigate to. So that's www.steelixsolutions.com. And you'll kind of get an idea of who is the best. We like to determine who is the best fit for us. It's not about quantity of clients.
Assuming your first hour or whatever is free. You just find out if it's a good fit or not. That doesn't cost anything.
Yep. Absolutely.
So they can call you and say, look, I have this bookkeeper who's not doing a good job, or I got this accounting services costing me $4,000 a month, or whatever's going on with them. And they can talk to you and say, well, and understand their circumstances of what you're doing and how you would compare to what they're currently doing and what it would cost, right? And the kind of services you would deliver versus what they're currently getting, right?
Exactly. Yeah. In that first call, 90%, I'm not even kidding, 90% of the conversation is all about the client. We just kind of mute ourselves and we're just listening to what keeps them up at night, what they're really looking for, and to see if mutually, if we're a good fit.
That makes total sense. And I know a lot of people, especially this time of year, are freaking out. They're going, oh my God, when I go on taxes, they don't even know. And most contractors can't tell you where they made or lost money every week and what jobs. They just don't have the information. Therefore, they make bad decisions. So I really like the fact that you're in Canada, which gives Americans a 30%, 40% discount off the bat. And then also it's you and not 20 other people you're never going to see. Yeah. I think that's really an upside for smaller contractors. And also, you don't mind working with a guy that's doing $1 million or $2 million. A lot of accounting firms go, unless you're doing $5 million, I want to talk to you, right? You deal with the small guys, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like as I said, we have a wide range. And also the thing is, like, we've standardized everything as much as possible. We constantly are trying to standardize the experience. For us, it's about the experience that the client is going to have. And when we're on an ongoing basis, after the catch-up cleanup has kind of been sorted out, we're either kind of agreeing to either a quarterly bookkeeping frequency or more recommended to be on more of we're in your file weekly.
Right. Yeah. That'd be great. Okay. Well, this is really a great opportunity. So if you're not happy with your current bookkeeper you've employed or the service you've got, or, you're not getting the information you need, or you feel like you're paying too much for it, I think Alex is a great person to call. So thanks, Alex. I appreciate you being here.
No problem. Thank you so much.